Hello guys, welcome to my channel Eng Sayyad Auto Academy. Today we are going to learn about basic operation principle of transmission, topic 2. Before we learn about transmission lineup, topic 1. Today we will learn thoroughly about how the different transmission, how it works and what are the main components inside. Let's go. We will learn today topic 2, basic operation principle of transmission. Okay, before we learn the transmission lineup, how many types of transmission in cherry, okay, what is the codes, how the codes can segregate and read the codes, what is actual coding meaning, and everything we learned in the last topic, in the first topic. Okay, today we will learn the second topic, the different transmission, what is the principle of operation, one by one. The first, we will learn about the manual transmission, basic operation principle, what are the main components, how it works inside, and what are the main components, how it operates. Okay, in structure of manual transmission, which is built inside like this, the gears are involved, main shaft and counter shaft gears, and there is a separate gear for the reverse. Okay, the first the highlighted part is selector rocker arm sub assembly. This is the selector, this is the main sub assembly which is connected to gear cables to gear lever. When you shift the gear lever, this is the main part which control inside the transmission. Okay, next part is gear shift tower sub assembly. This is the sub tower assembly which is also involved and connected to this sub assembly. Okay, and the fork sub assembly, forks are connected to directly the gears to shift one gear to another gear with the help of the gear hub and the synchronizers inside. Okay, these are the forks. These are the forks which is controlled by the gear shifter sub assembly and this part. And 4 number is integrated oil guide. This is the oil guide, this channel used for lubricate the gear and the bearings. This oil guide, these passages, these are the bearing, it lubricate bearings, gear, synchronizer inside the gearbox directly. And the 5th is gear set mechanism. This is the gear set complete. It involves gear, hub, synchronizer and sleeve. Everything involved in the gear set. This is complete gear set. Okay. And next is 6th number is reverse control mechanism. Reverse control mechanism, every transmission has a separate. This is reverse. It has a separate mechanism in every transmission. In manual, automatic, every transmission separate mechanism, because it rotates opposite direction when you drive. Okay, that's why they keep the gear separate. It will engage first and second gear always. The operation, how it works, the manual transmission, by controlling the shift, fork and sliding sleeve, different gear sets are engaged to form a different gear ratio. How it works? By controlling the shift fork and sliding sleeves. By controlling by where? The hub, the main shift tower. Okay, controlling from here to the fork. Fork will shift the gear where you want to, which gear you want to shift the gear. First gear, second gear, third gear. With the help of fork and the sleeve. Sleeve means hub assembly, slide assembly, like this. And different gear sets are engaged to form a different gear ratio. If you select different gears, it will select different gear set and the different gear ratio. The gear ratio will be different. If you select first and second, torque will be increased, speed will be decreased. If you select third, fourth, fifth, these are the top gears. There the torque will less and the speed will be higher, like this. Next. Okay, next, the manual transmission clutch. The manual transmission, power transmission is how it transmits the power. What are the main component to transmit the power from engine to transmission? The main component is clutch assembly in between the transmission and engine assembly. Okay, and the first part of the in the clutch, which one is flywheel? Flywheel. This is the flywheel. This is the flywheel, and flywheel is attached with the clutch plate and clutch pressure plate. Second plate is clutch driven disc plate, and third clutch pressure plate. This is the disc plate and the pressure plate. Fourth, transmission assembly. It is equipped in between transmission and engine. What it does, the clutch located between the engine and the transmission is component used for power transmission and separation, and it is normally in engaged state. It is located in between engine and transmission, and it will use to for transmit the power from engine to transmission assembly, and the clutch is always in engaged condition. Once you depress the clutch pedal, it was disengaged. Then you can shift the gear easily. If in engaged condition, if you want to change the gear, then you will broke your gearbox, broke your gears. You have to disconnect the power first, then you have to shift the gear, and you have to bring the car in the limit of the speed limit for that particular gear which you want to shift. If you are running in the fifth gear, you are already in the 100 and more than 100 speed, then if you want to shift in first and second gear, it cannot be happen. You have to bring the car also in that particular speed where the gear will allow you to shift in first, second gears, right? And next, and manual transmission clutch hydraulic system. How the clutch hydraulic clutch system, the clutch pedal and everything, how it works. The main components in that circuit is, first one is clutch pedal. The clutch pedal, this is the clutch pedal, and the clutch master cylinder, this is the master cylinder connected to the reservoir, and third one is reservoir just mentioned. Okay, fourth one, clutch oil pipe. This is the pipe from the master cylinder until the clutch release bearing, hydraulic release bearing. The fifth one, hydraulic release bearing. This is the release bearing. The pipe is connected until here, which is control the clutch engage and disengage with the help of hydraulic pressure. How it operates? When driver depress the clutch pedal, the clutch is disengaged through a hydraulic system control. When driver press the clutch pedal, what clutch pedal piston rod can do? It will push the oil by pressurizedly in the master cylinder. Then the pressured oil go through this hydraulic pipe until clutch release bearing. Clutch release bearing, what it does? The clutch release bearing, the pressured oil push the release bearing to the pressure plate finger. The finger will be press inside. The inside clutch disc will be come backside with the minimal distance, only in mm, not much distance, only in mm it is disengaged, not much gap in that. Then it stops the power transmission from engine to gearbox. Then you can shift the gear proper way. Next, the next is DCT. DCT means what? Dual clutch transmission, wet type. There are dry type also available, but we have only wet type dual clutch transmission. And what is the operation principle of DCT? DCT, the hydraulic oil is injected into the oil chamber of internal and external clutches, pushing the piston to engage the internal external clutches. The clutch is normally in disengaged state. Here the clutch is always in disengage. In manual it is engaged state. Okay, what is used to engage the clutch? It used the hydraulic pressure to engage the clutch. In manual transmission, to disengage the clutch, it used hydraulic pressure only to disengage the clutch. This opposite works. You can see here, this is pressured oil external clutch pushing. How it pushes the external clutches? This the pressured oil passage, and it moves from the back side. This is the outer clutch. Outer clutch. It's always in disengaged state. Now it will push forward once the oil pressure fills this area. Okay, in external clutches. For internal clutches, it uses the pressure oil from second passage, not the first passage. First passage is for external clutch. Second passage is for internal clutch. The internal clutch will go through here. This is the internal clutch area. It will create the pressure here and push the clutch to engage. It works always in opposite direction. Next, the operation of DCT fork control mechanism. How the fork control works here in mechanics. The forks are controlled by motor gears, and shift drums complete the engage and disengage the gears. The forks are controlled by the motor, electronic motors. In the manual transmission, we have to manually select. We have to select manually. But here in the DCT, the electronic controlled motors are there to control the forks, these forks, and the linkages. Okay, to complete the gear shifting, engage and disengagement of gears. Okay, what are the main parts in that? These are the main forks. To control the main forks, there is a linkage, and the shift drums also. Shift drums also helps to shift the gears in a proper way. And there is an intermediate gear E motors. These are the gear motors. These are the motor and shift drum. 2 shift drums, intermediate gears and motors. Next.